This is Mel Allen. Baseball is all charged up and full of energy. Major League engines run on just about anything. And when it's blooper time, they go into overdrive, because everything begins bubbling over. The Red Sox rely on an oil can to fuel their flight, and man, this can really motors on the mound and at the mouth. A big blast-off brings out the best of all worlds, and Pudge propels the Sox with a surefire ignition into outer space. A classic blue model tunes up and passes a giant high test with some spark plug performances. So stand by to get revved up for it all, right here on This Week in Baseball. National League Review. In San Diego, the Mets steal the show. A1 fun in the California sun, as Padre fans got psyched up for San Diego to shoot down the high-flying Mets. In Game 1, Carmelo Martinez did just that, giving the Padres the lead with home run number 7. Then, with the score tied in the bottom of the 8th, a runner on third, 2 out, Martinez struck again, a textbook suicide squeeze for the game winner. Lamar Hoyt went all the way for the win, as the Padres won 8 out of 10 to increase their lead in the West. But the next day, San Diego surrendered to Met pitching. Leading the charge for New York, right-hander Ron Darling, who got the win to go 5-1. Rookie Roger McDowell pitched well in relief, although the Padres ended his scoreless streak of 23 innings. With 3 saves and 5 wins this season, McDowell has come on strong after missing most of '84 with an injury.
Nobody really knows how I got the injury. It started to really hurt in the year of '83 when I was in Jackson in AA. And I went ahead and had the surgery last year in February, and I rehabilitated and progressed faster than expected. I was able to come back and pitch last season. And then I went down to instructional and came into spring training, and I felt I was fully recovered and everything was very strong.
Jesse Orosco was strong in Game 2, picking up save number 6 as the Mets maintained their first-place standing in the East. In the finale, San Diego was up in arms in the 8th inning when Danny Heap came to bat and caused a heap of trouble. He hit what appeared to be a 2-run homer, but the first base umpire called it a foul ball. Hoorays from the home crowd until the umps reversed the call. Fair ball, after all. The cheers became boos, and skipper Dick Williams was equally distressed as Met reliever Doug Sisk, who just returned from the minors, one-hit the Padres for 4 innings as the Mets took 2 out of 3, their first series win in San Diego in 8 years. On to San Francisco, where the Giants stood tall against the Phillies. Tossed about by misfortune this season, Philadelphia took yet another pounding in San Francisco. In Game 1, Rick Adams made his National League debut. And what a coming-out party. A home run, 3 RBIs, and the game winner as the Giants won 4-3. Their 23rd one-run game this year, most in the majors. Staying close means playing tough. And Mike Krukow did just that against the Phillies to pick up win number 4. With an earned run average near 2, Krukow is one reason the Giants lead the major leagues in team ERA. In Game 2, pitching again shot the Phillies full of holes. Atlee Hammaker allowed 1 run through 6 1/3 innings as the Giants won 2-1, their second straight 1-run victory. Rick Adams was up and at 'em again. 2 for 4, and his second straight game winner, providing some much-needed punch to the team's lowly .218 batting average. San Francisco kept right on rolling in the finale as Vida Blue put the Phillies in a stew. Making his first start in almost 2 years, Blue allowed only 1 hit and 1 run through 5 innings, raising his record to 3-1. Rookie Rob Deere was dynamite in the pinch, punching out his second pinch hit homer. This one the game winner. Another giant on the mark against the Phillies was Mark Davis, who got 2 saves and had a total of 50 strikeouts, tops among all big league relievers. And San Francisco swept the series. Time now for a feature on Cincinnati's Super Soto. Mario Soto is rolling with an 8-3 record, and the Reds are rocking, challenging for first place in the West. Cincinnati's strikeout specialist is a big reason for the Reds' rise. An ERA under 2.5 and 76 strikeouts, 4th in the league. Mario has Cincinnati fans bopping to his strikeout rhythm. Averaging almost 8 per game, Soto is oh so electrifying, putting out the lights on National League hitters.
Lights out, blast, blast, blast. 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 Lights out.
No doubt it's lights out when Mario's on the mound. Now, let's open the notebook for this week in baseball's TWIB notes from around the National League. Pittsburgh's Jose De Leon has been a buck with no luck. 1 win and 16 decisions going back to '84, although among last year's strikeout leaders. But Jose finally got a win, beating the Braves, adding 5 strikeouts to rank 3rd in the league. The win also brought the Bucks out of last place in the East for the first time in more than a year. St. Louis pitcher Joaquin Andujar went to bat for his own cause in a game against Atlanta. First, the Cardinal ace wrapped out an RBI single, his first left-handed hit this season. Then he batted righty and got another hit off the same pitcher, Rick Mahler. By the way, Andujar shut out the Braves and then won number 10 next time out. Davey Lopes of the Chicago Cubs achieved a milestone against Atlanta when he stole career base number 500, just the 3rd active player to do so, joining Cesar Cedeno and Ricky Henderson. Hey, how about that for a 39-year-old? Manager Tommy Lasorda's team hasn't been looking much like Artful Dodgers these days. In the first 51 games, Los Angeles committed 62 errors, most in the majors. And the Dodgers are not far off the pace to set a dubious record for team errors in one season. Now for this week's quiz. Which team set the modern-day record for most errors in the season? All you old professors out there, stay tuned. American League scene. The White Sox hang the Royals out to dry. Chicago threw a sharp curve at Kansas City and took off, soaring up, and away against the Royals. In fact, even the man in the moon had to wake up and take notice in the opener when Carlton Fisk unloaded a booming blast into the great beyond.
That's deep to left field. On the roof. Carlton Fisk on the roof. And the Sox take a 3-2 lead. Roof shot by Fisk.
Pudge hammered 2 more homers the next 2 days. And in 4 games overall, he had 5 home runs and 13 RBIs. That raised his average near 290 and his RBI count to 36, second in the league. But all the Sox were clicking as they collected 35 hits in the 4-game series. One player hitting especially high notes for Chicago has been rookie Tim Hewlett, batting better than .360 since coming up in mid-May. In a game against the Royals, Hewlett cracked his first Major League home run, and it was the game-winning wallop. More sweet melodies from the bat of Greg Walker, who banged out 6 hits in the series to lift his average near 300. But the hitters weren't the only ones eating their spinach. Floyd Bannister struck out 7 in 6 1/3 innings to pick up his 3rd win. Also making like a master on the mound was Richard Dotson, who mowed down the Royals with a 4-1 win. Spelling relief has been Big Bob James. 2 saves against KC for a total of 10 as the Sox swept all 4 games to move within reach of first place in the West. Next stop, Toronto, where all is okay on Blue Jay Way. Making all the right moves this year, the Blue Jays strutted their stuff and roughed up Cleveland in a 4-game series. Damaso Garcia had the right stuff against the Indians. 7 hits, including 2 game winners, as Toronto took 3 out of 4. Along with a .290 average, Damo had 15 steals and 25 RBIs from the leadoff spot. Another main man, Rance Mullinax, batted .324 last season, hitting above .300 again this year. Yet another reason why Toronto is on top in the East. Jeff Burroughs was expected to fill the power vacuum left by Cliff Johnson, but his home run against Cleveland was only his 3rd this year. Still, Burroughs isn't worried about fitting the bill.
He's Cliff Johnson, and I'm Jeff Burroughs, and I'm just going to try and, swing the bat the way I can, and hopefully I can help out this ball club.
Doyle Alexander has been a big help since joining the Jays 2 years ago. Since August of '83, Alexander's been great, winning 31 and losing just 8. And Jim Acker continues to surprise, adding 2 saves in the series. And the Blue Jays soared with the best record in the majors. Now it's time to focus on a Red Sox man called Oil Can. Boston's Dennis Oil Can Boyd sure can do. Besides a 6-4 record, he's among the league leaders in ERA, complete games, and strikeouts. Yes, indeed, Oil Can is something else on the mound. Oil Can's uncanny style calls to mind another talented pitching showman of recent memory, Mark the Bird Fidrych. In his rookie season of '76, Bird was the word in Detroit. While his 19-9 record and 2.34 ERA were certainly nothing to laugh at, his antics on the field most definitely were. As for Oil Can, he thrills them at Fenway as only the can. And make no mistake, Boyd's enthusiasm has always been part and parcel of his pitching routine.
Baseball is kind of dwelled within me, so it comes natural to really get serious about the game and to be all intense and to be pumped up. But the flamboyant atmosphere is a part of me also, and it was told to me was, hey, you play like this, that means that you're confident, not so much as being cocky. It's a blend of both. You want attention because of the fact you're confident and you want to be noticed, and I do. I know that I'm kind of like the center of attention out there.
And that he is. And Boyd's fellow Red Sox have no problems with Oil Can's abundant eccentricities.
Everyone's got their own different styles. Some call it hot dogging. That's just Oil Can style. When he goes out there and he strikes someone out, he gets enthusiastic. And it's good to see.
My teammates love it, They tell me, say, hey, ain't no other guy I'd rather play behind than you because you fire me up. You get me going. I love watching you. I love watching the way you do things. And it's not so much as that you're putting on a show out there. That's the way the Can does his thing. He goes through these gestures, he paces around. But, hey, I got good stuff, and I think that I'm worth watching coming out to see.
And we can agree. And now let's review this week in baseball's Twib notes from around the American League. There's no place like home, if home is Yankee Stadium, that is. After Billy Martin came back as manager 17 games into the season, the Yankees went on a tear, winning 12 straight on their home turf. Fact is that when Billy took over from Yogi Berra, New York was 4 games below 500 and in the Eastern Division cellar. But with Martin at the helm, the Yankees won 20 of their next 32 games, and that lifted them into a tie for 3rd place. The Seattle Mariners aren't exactly making waves out west. In fact, they're in 5th place and struggling to reach 500. But when the Mariners are ahead going into the 7th inning, opponents might as well be on a sinking ship, because in all 17 games this season in which Seattle held a lead after 6 innings, the Mariners sailed away with a win in every single one of them. The New York Mets were founded in 1962, and their first season wasn't much fun for skipper Casey Stengel, known as the Old Professor. Stengel saw the hapless Mets commit 210 errors that season, the modern-day record for one team, as New York won just 40 games and lost 120. Hey, man, it's not nice to chew with your mouth open. But don't stretch the point. No sense blowing things out of proportion, because sometimes even the best of them gum up the works. Hey, look behind you. Things are getting batty around here, but try not to blow your stack over it. No need to burst apart at the seams. Just stay calm. Now that's what I call calm. You know, this game can really get you down. But don't go crazy and lose control of the situation, because sometimes when you least expect it, the unexpected happens. Baseball is such a bubbly affair. Now it's time for a look at fine-tuning in the field. So hats off to great glove work. First up, Philadelphia's Steve Jeltz. Out of nowhere, St. Louis Cardinal Ozzie Smith. The Kansas City Royals' Lonnie Smith. Baltimore's Freddie Lynn, way up in the ozone. Off the mound, Toronto Blue Jay Dennis Lamp. Another pitcher, the Oakland A's' Don Sutton. Back to the outfield with Montreal Expo, Tim Raines. The St. Louis Cardinals' Terry Pendleton. A New York Yankee doodle dandy by Bobby Meacham. San Francisco Giant Chris Brown. A barehander by Detroit's Tom Brookins. A brave ricochet double play. Steve Bedrosian to Paul Zavala to Glenn Hubbard. Finally, Gary Ward to Texas teammate Glenn Brummer for 2. Over and out. On to Minnesota, site of the 1985 All-Star Game. Minnesota's old Metropolitan Stadium hosted the All-Star Game in 1965 when Harmon Killebrew homered for the American League, but fellow Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax got the win as the National League took it 6-5. This year, Minnesota's Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome is the site of baseball's midseason classic, and the ballots to choose the stars are now available in every major and minor league ballpark. So be sure to cast your vote. Looking for future All-Stars, the 26 big league teams made their picks at this year's amateur draft.
First selection goes to Milwaukee Brewers.
Milwaukee selects Surhoff, B.J. William James. Catcher, University of North Carolina.
B.J. Surhoff, a member of the U.S. Olympic team last year. He set a school record with a .392 average. Skipping his senior year, Surhoff signed with the Brewers and is off to Class A ball in the minors. And now it's time for an Old Spice salute, brought to you by 24-hour strong Old Spice deodorant and antiperspirant. This week, Old Spice salutes Montreal's Randy St. Clair. Against San Francisco, the rookie reliever led off the top of the 15th inning with a bunt single in his first major league at-bat. St. Clair was advanced to third, and then Randy turned into a real Saint when he scored the winning run, going all out. But that wasn't all. St. Clair also got his first major league win by shutting out the Giants through the final 4 innings. Congratulations, Randy. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.